Are we live? We are? Oh, that's fantastic. Hi, it's David from Sherwood Ford.
Along with Drew.
And we have a special guest joining us today who is Tom with the shop foreman at Sherwood Ford's Service Center. Thanks for joining us, Tom.
Thanks.
Yeah, he's a little bit nervous, but that's okay. He'll get over it. See, he's already getting happy. All right, so, we've all noticed it's getting a little bit chilly outside, isn't it?
If you've been on the radio, listening to the radio or anything, they're calling today probably the last nice day of summer. So
26 today or something?
Yeah, 26, and after today, it's going to start to cool down.
Exactly. So we all know what's coming. We don't want to use the S word or the winter word.
No.
Oh, sorry, I just did.
Yeah, don't do that.
But listen, we got to get ready. We know it's coming, and the sooner you take care of a few things, the less chances of a problem you're going to have while you're on the road with your vehicle. And that doesn't matter whether it's a Ford or any other brand of vehicle, just simply, preventative maintenance and taking care of a few things. And we're going to come up with a few tips for you. And we're going to start off with fluids, because fluids are kind of one of the things, it's like the blood in your vehicle, isn't it?
Yeah,
so
for sure.
The number one fluid that I can think of that's really important is antifreeze.
Yeah, coolant strength.
Coolant strength.
Yeah.
So how do I check my coolant strength? Is that something I can do myself, or should I come and see Sherwood Ford?
Well, for sure. You have to have a special tester to check that and to go in through the reservoir and stuff like that. If you don't have that, then that's what we have.
And what kind of strength would be a good strength for the temperatures that we endure in Alberta?
Should be sitting around minus 40 to 45.
Yeah. Would that be kind of like about a 50-50 mixture?
It's a little more strength, coolant strength, rather water. Yeah.
Right. So it's always a good idea, like, when you need an expert, you go to someone who knows what they're talking about or what they're doing, right? Like a mechanic.
Yeah.
I mean, you don't go see a massage therapist to have your dental work done.
No, you go to a dentist.
Exactly. Well, maybe you do. I don't know. Okay, so what's the next fluid that's really critical? What do you think?
It's got to be the oil.
Oil. Okay, well, there used to be a time, and maybe this is a bit of a myth, Tom, but do I need to get my oil changed? Or maybe it's, I've been running it through all the summer, and we've had a pretty hot summer. Yeah. And those temperatures, that heat, that's pretty hard on oil. But should I get my oil changed, or maybe should I switch to a different type of oil for winter?
The recommended is pretty much one oil nowadays, basically. So we don't really change viscosities anymore. We just stick with what the recommendations are. So
sure. Now, I noticed, at least on my own vehicle, I don't know about you, but if you run a synthetic oil, the plug-in temperature is a lot lower versus a mineral oil.
it is a lot easier for the engine to work with synthetic fluid.
Right. And we can do both types of oils at Sherwood Ford.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, so we've talked about washer fluid. We didn't talk about washer fluid.
No, of course, if you're using summer fluid, you're probably going to want to start changing over to more of a winter fluid that's got some antifreeze in there to make sure it doesn't freeze in the lines when the temperature starts to drop.
I'm just thinking out loud now, but is there anything I can add to my washer fluid to make it antifreeze ready?
Not that I know of. You just have to basically get out the summer washer fluid, and then we add the winter stuff.
Right. Okay. And by the way, if you haven't heard about it, the free pit stop special from Sherwood Ford Service offers a number of items, such as...
Well, they top up all your fluids. They do a 34-point inspection as well, just to make sure that everything's the way it should be.
Yeah. And a free alignment check, too.
Right.
So if you need your washer fluid topped up, just drop by the service center without an appointment, and we'll take care of that for you. All right. Now, one of the other fluids that's kind of important, and this is really when it gets cold, is the gasoline. So if I have my tank half full, maybe it's getting closer to empty, what is going to be the issue that I'm going to face in those really cold winter months?
Humidity, so you want to keep that up. And antifreeze they do have out there. If there's any water
antifreeze
in any of the fuels, you never know.
Yeah, for sure. So keep your tank topped up, because sometimes emergencies come up.
Yeah, of course. I mean, we've all been on, say, the Anthony Henday, and there's an accident, and you end up sitting there for a couple hours. You want to make sure you've got enough fuel in your tank to get you through. You don't want to get stuck.
Yeah, perfect. So there's a few tips for you on fluids. Next, we're going to move into hardware. So the first hardware item that comes to mind is when I'm driving along and I'm seeing out of my windshield is to make sure that my wiper blades are in tip-top shape. Because if they're not, you're going to get those streaks, you're going to get those issues with clear visibility. And the windshield wiper blade, that's a pretty simple thing to do.
Yeah, for sure.
Just right here in the shop, right?
Yeah, and we test them and check them out and change them out.
How often should we be changing out blades? Maybe a couple times a year? What do you think?
Kind of once
twice?
they start streaking, you know, like
Yeah.
basically.
Right.
That's kind of when you go to.
Oh, that sounds good. Now, the next piece of hardware, and this is kind of critical, it starts your vehicle.
Yeah.
Well, not the alternator.
Battery.
The battery.
Yeah. So of course in the cold weather, the charging your battery, it's not as effective as in the summertime. The cold really does take a bit of a bite out of the strength. So you want to make sure that you've got a battery that's in good condition.
Yeah.
It's taking a full charge, and that way, in the cold temperatures, it's going to help start that car the first time.
Right.
And keep all of, with the cars today, we've got heated seats, we've got heated steering wheels, all of that. So we need a little bit of extra power to help power all those.
Yeah, absolutely. So a properly charged battery, this is something that we can test in the shop.
Yeah, we have many testers to see the condition of the battery and
So what
see
are we
if it
actually
needs to be
testing
replaced.
for when we hook up a diagnostic tool to the battery? Like amperage or
Yeah.
voltage?
Yeah,
Or
both. Yeah,
a little bit of both?
Yeah.
So you read about cold crank amps, right?
yeah, and that's what our testers do and see if they're up to what they should be at, and basically it'll tell us that.
Right. I mean, a battery's usually good 4 or 5, maybe top 6 years, but 4 is about an average,
Yeah,
right?
for Canada,
And then
yeah.
you should probably start thinking about a new battery,
Or at least testing for sure.
or test it at least,
Yeah.
right? So again, just a tip: check your battery before the cold hits. Because
Right.
when it does, you might not have a car that's going to want to start.
Exactly.
Exactly, right? Okay. What about my air filter? This is another piece of hardware under the hood, part of your motor. I've been driving all summer. I've been enjoying my vacations. I've been traveling here and there. Now, what happens to that air filter over those months?
The dust and the bugs. Bugs are a big one also with the dust, and I mean, then that decreases your fuel economy, which
Right. So it's not a critical piece of equipment, but I mean, winter's hard enough, and your fuel efficiency goes down with the cold temperatures. So if you want to help, have a cleaner running engine, change out your air filter. Simple thing to do. Okay. Brakes, belts, and hoses. Just another thing under the hood that you want to monitor for. I mean, radiator fluid. When it gets hot, that pressure builds up in those hoses.
Yeah, and I mean, even just things get dry in the wintertime, right? So if your belt has got a little bit of cracking and things, it's just going to be amplified come wintertime. So you want to make sure in the summertime you just take care of that now before things start to get worse.
A good tip, isn't it?
yeah, exactly.
Like belts, you don't want that belt breaking.
For
in
sure,
at
when you do
-30.
full inspections on that, and you don't want to be sitting on the side of the road waiting for the tow truck, right?
I know, right? Okay. What's another hardware system on our vehicles? And we drive SUVs, we drive trucks, and everybody's concerned about traction. It's called a
Four-wheel drive, all-wheel drive, or four-wheel drive system, yeah.
Yeah. Now, some of those systems you don't use in the summertime, right?
Yeah, if
Well-
you've got a four-wheel drive system, chances are, unless you're going off-roading, you probably are just using two-wheel drive all summer. So, come wintertime, that's exactly when we need to make sure that system does work.
Yep.
And, before you get stuck out there in the snow and it doesn't work, good idea to get those checked out just before.
That's something we can quickly check.
Of course, yeah, for sure.
yeah.
Test all the systems.
Test it all out, go for a test drive, make sure everything's functioning smoothly. I mean, like preventative maintenance. Yes, you have a question? Great. Oh, intelligent all-wheel drive system, right? Yeah. So the intelligent all-wheel drive system, there's a transfer case for that.
Yeah.
And is there some maintenance or some inspection that we can do?
There's fluids to check and make sure that everything's up to par and the fluid levels are good and condition is good.
Right. So yeah, great question. Intelligent all-wheel drive or four-wheel drive system, just get it inspected and checked. It's kind of like getting your teeth cleaned, right? From a dentist, you just want get that checkup done. Just make sure there's no problems. Okay. What about if I do have a problem on the road and I'm stranded? What's the one thing I should have in my vehicle?
Well, some kind of an emergency kit. You're
Yeah.
going to want, everybody always talks about it, but you could get stuck out there for hours. And especially when the weather does get bad, waiting for that tow truck can also take hours. So you want to have some emergency supplies, from everything, from a couple of pylon cones so that you're visible if you are stopped on the side of the road, to some candles, some actual medical supplies, Band-Aids, bandages, Advil or anything like that.
Yep. Ford has an accessory kit actually that you can purchase
Right.
through our parts department. And on our blog at blog.sherwoodford.ca, if you just check on there for emergency kit, you'll find all the information and what's a good idea to include in your roadside kit, just in case, something comes up. Okay, last item, Tom. Tires.
Spare tire.
Well,
Want to check that.
Why should we be checking the spare tire?
Make sure the pressure's up, so in case a nail or something happens, you got your spare is good to go.
You've seen it happen, and I've seen it happen. You use your spare tire, and you just throw it back in, and you forget about it, right? So when you're getting your tires for winter, and it's always a good idea to get winter tires, make sure that they check the spare tire too. What about tire pressures?
They definitely, come down with colder weather, so they have to be topped up for maximum traction. So that's definitely another check that needs to be checked as the temperature comes down.
Absolutely. And it's really simple. Just drop by the breezeway here at Sherwood Ford for that free pit stop special. We'll check your tire pressures. We'll check your alignment. We'll do a 34-point inspection. And we'll top up your washer fluid, all for free.
Yes.
Can't go wrong, right? As you get ready for what's coming. I don't want to use that S word, but yeah. All right. That's about it. Anything else? Tom can't just wait to get out of here. Tom, thank you so much.
All right.
Really appreciate it. From myself and Drew and from Tom, guys, have a giant day and
Yeah.
take care till next time. Thanks. Cheese. Bye.